My name is Sophia Miller. I'm 32 years old. For the last 4 years, I've been living and working in London, thousands of miles away from my family in America. The sound of my family's laughter at the dinner table was loud. My brother Adil, the golden son, had just finished a story and everyone was beaming. My mother turned to me, her eyes still sparkling from her laughter. "Oh, Sophia," she chuckled, and my father smiled along. "You try so hard. But you'll never be as good as your brother." It was their favorite joke, a sharp, humiliating dismissal they disguised as love. This time I didn't look down, I didn't try to smile. I simply placed my napkin on the table and stood up. The laughter stopped. "Then tell him to pay all the bills," I said. My voice was quiet, but it cut through the room. "I'm not sending money anymore." Adil's smile twitched. My mother's face turned to ice. "What money?" she snapped, her voice cold. "You never sent us $1. Adil is the one who takes care of us." I stared at her, then I looked at my brother, who suddenly couldn't meet my eyes. In that single, awful instant, the truth hit me. It wasn't just the credit he was taking. Adil stole everything. But before I tell you how everything flipped, like and subscribe, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? I drove home from that dinner. It was a 20-minute drive, but it felt like hours. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel, but I was cold, so cold. My mother's words just played over and over in my head, a loop I couldn't stop. "What money? You never sent us $1. What money?" I thought of the last 4 years. I thought of every single day. I thought of everything I gave up. I was always the obedient one, the good daughter, the smart one. Sophia, the one who would make something of herself. Adil was the charming one, the fun one, the one who always made my parents laugh. I was the one who made them proud, but he was the one they liked. When I got the job offer overseas, my parents were so proud. They told everyone, "My daughter Sophia is going to be a big-shot executive." It was a good job, a great job, even a new life. But we all knew what it really meant. It meant I was the one who would provide. I was the family's winning lottery ticket. I packed 2 suitcases, that was all I took. I said goodbye to my friends. I said goodbye to my small, comfortable life. I got on a plane for 14 hours. I landed in a new country where I knew no one. The city was big and loud and lonely. My apartment was tiny. It was a studio, which meant my bed was next to my kitchen sink. It was smaller than my childhood bedroom back home. My office was a huge glass building and I was just one small person in a gray cubicle. I worked. My God, how I worked. I worked 10, sometimes 12 hours a day. I worked weekends. I was the first one in and the last one to leave. I had to be. I was not just supporting myself. I was supporting a whole family back home. I lived like a ghost. I ate instant noodles for dinner so I could save money. I bought my clothes from second-hand shops. My winter coat was 3 years old and the lining was ripped. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself I was making a sacrifice. I was a good daughter. Every month on the first of the month I did 2 things. I paid my rent for my tiny, sad apartment, and then I sent money home. It started small. Just a little to help. "Sophia," my mother would call. Her voice was always worried. "The pharmacy is so expensive." "How much, Mom?" "Just $300, but I don't know where to get it." "It's okay, Mom, I'll send it." "Don't worry," and I did. Then a few months later, "Sophia," my dad said. His voice was low and ashamed. "The bank is making threats about the house." My blood went cold. What threats?" "The mortgage, we're behind. They want $1,200. $1,200, that was almost my entire food budget for 2 months. Okay, Dad, I'll handle it, I'll send it, don't worry," and I did. I didn't eat out for 3 months, I didn't even buy a coffee. It went on like this. The calls got more frequent. The emergencies got bigger, the car broke down, the roof was leaking, my father's medicine got more expensive. I was sending more and more. I was a walking, breathing ATM. I was so tired. I was exhausted down to my bones. Then my brother Adil called me one night. He never called me. "Sophia, sis," he said. His voice was so warm, so full of charm. "I was just talking to Mom. You sound tired." I was in my cubicle. It was 9 p.m. I was crying. "I am tired, Adil," I whispered. "You're working too hard, sis. You're trying to do everything. You're all alone over there." He was the first person who seemed to see me. "You shouldn't have to worry about all these little bills," he said. "Mom and Dad, they get confused. They call you for everything. They worry you." "It's a lot to manage," I admitted. Exactly, so let me handle it, he said. His voice was so smooth, so helpful, so responsible. Just send one payment to me, I'll set up a special account just for them. I'll pay the mortgage, I'll pay the medicine, I'll handle the groceries, I'll manage their finances, I'll be the man on the ground here, he laughed. You just focus on your work, sis, you're the one earning the money, you're the superstar. Let me be the manager, you just focus on your work and I'll make sure they have everything they need. It felt like a weight was lifted off my chest. I almost cried with relief. Thank you, Adel, thank you so much. You don't know what this means. What's family for? He laughed. So that's what we did for 4 years. Every single month I sent the money, $1,500, sometimes more. When the car broke, I sent $2,000. When the roof leaked, I sent $3,000. When Dad needed a new procedure, I sent $5,000. I sent it all to Adel. I trusted him. He was my brother. He was family, and in all that time my parents never said thank you. Not once. I thought it was just them. They were old-fashioned. They just expected it. I was the daughter. It was my duty. When I called, they were always busy. Oh, hi Sophia, hold on, Adel is here. I would wait, listening to them laugh in the background. When I sent gifts, they would say, oh, that's nice. Adel just bought us a new television. Everything was Adel. Adel is so good to us. Adel takes such good care of us. He's the best son. I would hang up the phone in my tiny, quiet apartment and feel a cold, empty space in my chest. I told myself it didn't matter. It didn't matter if they thanked me. It only mattered that they were safe, that they were taken care of. I was the obedient, overseas daughter. I was the provider, the invisible one, and he was the golden son, the one who was managing it all. I just never knew what managing really meant. I never knew that while I was eating noodles, my brother was eating steak. I never knew that every dollar I saved, every treat I skipped, every lonely night I worked, it wasn't for my parents. It was all for him. I sat in my parked car in the dark and I finally understood. What money? You never sent us $1. My mother wasn't lying. That was the most horrible part. She genuinely didn't know. He hadn't just stolen my money, he had stolen my sacrifice. He had stolen my one role in the family. He made them think I had abandoned them. He made them think I was a stranger. I wasn't just the provider, I was the fool. My mind kept going. It was like a dam had broken. All these little moments, these sharp little stings I had ignored for years, they all came rushing back. They were no longer small signs. They were giant, red, flashing billboards, and I had been driving past them with my eyes closed. It was the phone calls. They changed so slowly I barely noticed. At first my mother would call me, worried. Sophia, are you eating? You're working too hard. But after Adel started managing the money, the calls stopped. I was the one who had to call them, and when I did, I always felt like I was interrupting. I remember one night I had just gotten a small promotion. It wasn't much, but it was a new title. I was proud. I called them, Mom, Dad. Guess what? I got a promotion. There was a pause. Oh, that's nice, my mother said. Her voice was flat, not happy, not sad, just flat. Hold on, Sophia, Adel is just showing me the new television he bought for us. It's huge. What were you saying? A promotion, I said, my voice smaller. At work. That's nice. Listen, we're about to watch a movie. Adel is setting it up. He's so smart with this technology. Oh, okay. Well, is Dad there? He's busy helping Adel. Okay, well, I love you. Yes, we'll talk to you later, Sophia. Click. The warmth was gone. It was only there for Adel. When he was in the room, I could hear her laughing. I could hear my father joking. The minute I called, the air turned cold. I felt like a collector calling to ask for a payment. They were annoyed at me. Then came the jokes. The jokes always hurt the most. I was on a video call with them. It was my birthday, my 30th birthday. I was sitting in my apartment. I had bought myself a single cupcake. I had a candle in it. I was working late, of course, so I was still in my work clothes. They sang happy birthday. Their faces were on the screen, sitting in the living room I paid to have painted, on the new sofa I paid for, or so I thought. We wish you were here, Sophia, my mom said. I wish I was too, Mom, but you love that job more than us, she said. It wasn't a question, it was a statement. Mom, that's not true, I said. My throat was tight. I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for the family, she laughed. It was a sharp, ugly sound. It's a good thing Adel is here to take care of his old parents. Your brother, he has a good heart, he has a real job, but he still makes time for us. He would give us his last penny. She looked right at the camera. Sophia, on the other hand, she's so important now, she wouldn't send a penny even if we begged. I just stared. I couldn't breathe. Mom, what are you talking about? I send, Adel, it's a joke, Sophia. Adel's voice boomed from off-screen. He walked into the frame, grinning, and put his arm around Mom. He looked right at me. You're always so serious, she's just teasing you. Right, Mom? My mother nodded, smiling up at him. Yes, just a joke, you're so sensitive. But it didn't feel like a joke, it felt like a knife. Why would she say that? Why would that even be a thought in her head? I called Adel later that night. I was crying. I was so embarrassed, crying over a joke. Why would she say that, Adel? Does she hate me? No, sis, no, don't be crazy, he said. His voice was so smooth, so reasonable. You know how she is, she's just dramatic, she doesn't mean it. She misses you, she's proud of you, we're all proud of you. He made me feel stupid for being upset, he made me feel guilty. And the complaining, my God, the complaining. Your father is so stressed, Sophia, my mom would say. The bills are piling up. I would freeze. What but? I sent the money for the bills, I sent extra, I sent $2,000 last week. Well, it's just. Everything is so expensive, she would sigh. I don't know what we'd do if Adel wasn't here. He's so smart with money, he finds ways, he handles it. I don't know what we'd do without him. I'd hang up, confused. I would look at my bank account. $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, where was it going? I was sending thousands, and they were still complaining about money. It made no sense. I would tell myself they're just getting old, they don't understand finances. I was so wrong. They were complaining because they were really struggling. The money I was sending, it wasn't getting to them. Meanwhile, Adel's life was getting better and better. His social media was full of it. First, it was the new clothes, designer labels, things I knew he couldn't afford on his salary. He worked a simple office job. Then it was the new car. A black, shiny BMW. The caption read, "Hard work pays off. Number blessed." I messaged him. "Wow, Adel, new car, business must be good." He replied, "Just grinding, sis, you know how it is." Number hustle. I felt a small, ugly twist of jealousy. I was grinding too, but I was driving a 10-year-old car and eating instant soup. But then I felt guilty. He deserves it, I told myself. He's helping so much with Mom and Dad. Then, the vacations. He took my parents to the beach, treating Mom and Dad to a weekend they deserve, he wrote. My mother, who always told me she was too busy to talk, was smiling in a photo, holding a drink with an umbrella in it. They looked so happy. I felt a surge of something. I was paying for that, I was sure of it, but he was the one getting the credit. I told myself it was fine. He's the one there, he should get the credit. I'm the one who's far away. I lived with this sick feeling for months. Something was wrong. I knew something was wrong. I would lie awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling of my dark apartment. It just didn't add up. His new car, their new sofa, their money problems, my mother's coldness, my father's silence. And Adel always in the middle, always smiling, always the hero. I trusted him. He was my brother, but I was so stupid. Love had turned sour. The small signs were not small at all. They were huge, red, flashing light warnings, and I had ignored every single one until tonight. What money? You never sent us $1. The joke wasn't a joke, it was the truth. It was the lie he had been feeding them for 4 years, and they believed him. I got home from that dinner. It was 11 p.m. I didn't take off my coat. I walked straight to my desk and turned on my computer. The glow of the screen lit up my dark apartment. My mother's voice was a recording in my head. What money? Adel's fake, panicked smile was burned into my memory. I was done. I was done trusting emotions. I was done trusting jokes. I was done trusting family. I trusted numbers. Numbers don't lie. My bank's website loaded. Log in, I typed. My fingers were cold. They were stiff. I opened my bank statements. I didn't just look at the last month. I went back, all the way back, 4 years, to the month I moved. I opened a new spreadsheet. I made 4 columns: date, amount, purpose, account number. I started my first transfer. August 2021, $1,000, purpose, help with mortgage. The account number Adel gave me. The next month, September 2021, $1,500, purpose. Bills and medicine, the same account number. The next month, October 2021, $1,500. The next, November 2021, $1,500. December 2021, $2,500. Purpose, Christmas and property tax. On and on it went. For 1 hour, 2 hours, it was 2 a.m. My eyes were burning. The spreadsheet was full. It was a long list, a history of my sacrifice. A history of my stupidity. I clicked on the amount column. I highlighted the whole thing. I clicked the sum button. The number that appeared made me feel sick. I had to stand up. I went to the kitchen and drank a glass of water, but my mouth was still dry. I felt dizzy. I went back to the chair. I looked at the number again, $72,000. In 4 years I had sent $72,000. To that one account. The account Adel told me was just for mom and dad. My heart was pounding. This was the moment. This was the moment I would know. It wasn't enough to see the number, I had to see the name. I opened a new browser tab. I searched for my bank, the American Bank. I had a very old, small savings account there. I almost never used it, but I knew my login. I logged in. My balance was $50, but I wasn't there for the balance. I was there for the transfer button. I clicked send money. I clicked add a new recipient. It asked for the account number. My hand was shaking so hard I could barely use the mouse. I went back to my spreadsheet. I highlighted the account number, I copied it. I went back to the bank website, I pasted it into the box, I typed in $1, I clicked next. The next screen popped up. Please confirm you are sending $1 to. The name on the account was not my mother's, it was not my father's. The name was Adel Miller. I stared at the name. Adel Miller, Adel Miller, Adel Miller. My breath just stopped. He didn't even hide it, he didn't even use a fake account, he didn't set up a family trust. He used his own name. He was that arrogant. He was that sure I would never check. He was that sure I was a fool, and I was. For 4 years, I was the biggest fool in the world. He stole every cent, every single cent. The mortgage payments, my dad's medicine, the grocery money, all of it went straight into his pocket. My parents' complaints about money were real. They were really struggling. My mother's joke about me not sending a penny, she believed it. Because to them, I hadn't. I was the daughter who moved away, got rich, and forgot about them. While Adel, their golden son, was right there, managing and helping them. He was probably giving them small scraps of my money, $100 here and there. Here, Mom, go get your hair done. Here, Dad, here's some gas money, and telling them it was from his own pocket. He wasn't just stealing from me, he was stealing from them. He was letting them suffer. He was letting them think their only daughter was cold and heartless. He was feeding on my sacrifice. He was feeding on their love. He was a parasite. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I closed the spreadsheet. I logged out of the bank. I went to the bathroom and I was sick. I threw up the one glass of water I drank. After I washed my face with cold water, I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were red, but they were clear. I felt a cold, hard, clean feeling. It was a feeling I had not felt in 4 years. It was clarity. I knew exactly what he was, and I knew exactly what I had to do. My brother had built his entire life, his entire image as the golden son, on a foundation of my money and my silence. And I was about to pull it all down. I did not sleep. At 6 a.m. I took a shower, I got dressed. I was not an emotional victim anymore. I was a prosecutor and I was building an ironclad case. I didn't confront him, that was the old Sophia. The old Sophia would have called him, crying, "How could you, Adel, how could you?" He would have laughed, he would have lied. "It's a mix-up, sis, you're crazy, you're emotional." He would have gaslit me just like he always did. He would have called Mom and Dad first, he would have twisted the story, he would have made me the villain. Sophia is accusing me of stealing after all I've done for this family, she's jealous of me, and they would have believed him. The new Sophia, the one born at 2 a.m. in front of a spreadsheet, was quiet, she was cold, and she was methodical. At 9 a.m. I was at my bank. I sat down with a bank manager, a woman with kind eyes. "How can I help you, Miss Miller?" "I need a complete printed record of every transfer from my account to this account number," I said. I slid a piece of paper with Adel's account number on it across the desk. "I need them for the last 4 years and I need every single page to be notarized." Her kind eyes turned curious. "That's a very specific request. May I ask what this is for?" "It's for a family financial audit," I said. My voice was flat, she could tell I wasn't going to say more. "This will take some time," she said. "I will wait," I said. I sat in the bank lobby for 2 hours. I didn't read a magazine, I didn't look at my phone, I just sat. Finally, she came out with a thick, heavy stack of papers. "Here you are," she said. I took it. I said, "Thank you." I walked out. I went to an office supply store. I bought a black 3-ring binder. I bought a red highlighter. I bought a label maker. I went back to my apartment. I spent the next 8 hours building my case. I 3-hole punched every bank statement. I took the red highlighter. I highlighted every date. I highlighted every amount. I highlighted the recipient, Adel Miller. page after page after page, $72,000. It was a mountain of evidence. Each page was stamped, official, notarized, undeniable. Next, I printed the emails. The email from 4 years ago. Hey sis, here's mom's special account sis, send everything here. I highlighted his words. I printed the birthday emails. Mom and dad need a new water heater sis. Can you send an extra $1,000? I printed the emergency emails. Dad's car broke down, it's $2,000 for the repair. I put them in chronological order. I put them in plastic sleeves. Then I went online. I went to Adil's social media pages. He was so proud of his lies, he documented them all. I right-clicked. Save image. Photo 1, Adil standing next to his new BMW. The caption. Hard work pays off. The timestamp, June 10th. I looked at my bank records. My transfer $5,000, the date June 8th, the purpose from his email, property tax emergency. I printed them both and put them side by side in a plastic sleeve. Exhibit A, I whispered. Photo 2, Adil and my parents on vacation at the beach. The caption, treating the people who matter most. The timestamp, August 22nd. My bank record, $3,000, the date, August 20th. The purpose from his email, leaky roof. Side by side. Exhibit B, Photo 3, Adil at a fancy restaurant wearing a new, expensive watch. The caption, just a small treat. Number hustle. The timestamp, December 1st. My bank record. $1,500. The date, November 30th. The purpose from his email, dad's new medicine. Side by side. Exhibit C, I did this for hours. His entire life of lies paid for by my life of sacrifice. When I was done, the binder was thick, it was heavy. I typed up a single cover sheet. It just had 3 lines on it. Total amount sent to Adil Miller, $72,000. Total amount received by mom and dad, $0. Account holder, Adil Miller. I put this sheet on top. I took the label maker. I printed out one word in big black letters, undeniable. I stuck it to the front of the binder. Now I just had to choose the right moment. I needed witnesses. I needed the people whose love he had stolen. I needed my parents. I looked at the calendar on my kitchen wall. A date was circled in red. In 2 weeks, Adil's 30th birthday dinner. It was perfect. My mother loved to throw him a party. All our aunts and uncles would be there. He would be the center of attention. The golden son, the hero. My mother called me a few days later. Her voice was cold as usual. Sophia, we're having a dinner for your brother's birthday. It was a statement, not an invitation. I know you're busy, she said. I'm sure you don't want to come. The old me would have shrunk. No, Mom, I'm sorry, I can't. The new me smiled. The binder was sitting on my desk watching me. I wouldn't miss it for the world, Mom, I said. My voice was so sweet it surprised her. Oh, she said, good, that's good. I'm even bringing a gift, I said, a special one. For the whole family? I was going to that dinner. I was going to bring my binder. He wanted to be the golden son. He wanted the spotlight. I was going to give it to him. I was going to watch the golden boy burn. I arrived at my parents' house at 7 o'clock sharp. I had taken extra time to get ready, not in a flashy way. I wore a simple black dress. My hair was pulled back. I wanted to look serious. I wanted to look like someone who could not be dismissed. The black folder was in my bag, a heavy rectangular weight resting against my side. My mother opened the door. Her eyes scanned me up and down. Her smile was tight and thin. Sophia, you came. You invited me, Mom. Yes, well, come in. Everyone is here. She turned and walked away, expecting me to follow. No hug, no, it's so good to see you. I was an obligation, a box to be checked. The house was warm. It smelled like roasted chicken and rosemary. My stomach tightened. My chicken, the money for this dinner, this party, this entire life, it came from me. I had paid for the very food they would celebrate him with. Adil was holding court in the living room. He was wearing a new, expensive-looking blue shirt. I recognized the brand. It was one I couldn't afford. My aunts and uncles were there, all smiling, all laughing at one of his stories. He was the king, the center of the universe. Sophia, he boomed, seeing me. He came over and gave me a one-armed hug. It felt like dry paper. His cologne was strong. Glad you could make it, sis. I know how busy you are. The little dig, always the little dig, making me sound distant and uncaring. Happy birthday, Adil, I said. My voice was calm, much calmer than I felt. My heart was a cold, hard stone in my chest. You have no idea. We sat for dinner. The table was beautiful. My mother had used the good china, the good silver. I was seated at the end, as far from my parents as possible. It was almost funny. They had pushed me to the margins of their lives, and here I was, the one who was secretly holding the whole thing up. I sat quietly, I ate my chicken, I listened. "Adil, you're a saint," my Aunt Clara said, her voice full of admiration. "The way you look after your parents, most young men, they only think of themselves." "It's nothing," Adil said, soaking it in. He had that fake humble look on his face, the one he'd perfected. "They're my parents. I'd do anything for them. Anything except let them have the money their daughter sent them," I thought. My father nodded, his face full of pride. He raised his glass. "To Adil, he's the best son. He takes care of everything. The house, the finances. We don't have to worry about a thing." I just ate my chicken, bite by bite. I watched him lie. My food tasted like ash. I thought about the spreadsheet in my bag. I thought about the $72,000. "He takes care of the finances." Yes, he did. My mother brought out the cake. It was a big 3-layer chocolate cake. The candles were lit. We all sang happy birthday. Adil leaned over and blew them all out in one big puff. Everyone cheered. He was beaming. He was so happy. He had everything. He had their love. He had their respect. And he had my money. Speech, my uncle shouted, banging the table. Adil stood up, laughing. He loved this. He lived for this? Okay. He held up his glass of champagne. "I just want to thank everyone for being here, and most of all, I want to thank my parents." He looked at them, his eyes wet. He was a good actor. "They taught me everything. They taught me about family and how family always comes first." He looked right at me when he said it, a quick, strange, challenging little look, as if to say, "You should try it sometime." "And I'm just glad I can be here for them," he finished. "To take care of them, the way they took care of me." Everyone clapped. My mother was crying, real happy tears. "He's such a good boy," she whispered to my aunt, "our golden son. He takes such good care of us." I waited. I let the applause die down. I let them get their coffee. I let my mother pass out slices of cake. I took a slice. I even took a bite. I wanted to remember the taste of this moment. When the plates were cleared and everyone was sitting back full and happy, I cleared my throat. It was a small sound. The room didn't quiet down. I wasn't loud enough, so I stood up. My chair scraped on the hardwood floor. The sound was loud. That worked. Everyone looked at me. My mother looked annoyed, like I was about to spill something. "Sophia, what is it? Do you need something?" "No, Mom," I said. I smiled. It was a small, tight smile. I just wanted to say something too. "It's Adil's 30th birthday after all. I have a gift." Adil laughed. "Oh yeah, where is it? That tiny purse. Did you get me a gift card?" "It's a gift for the whole family, actually," I said. I walked over to my bag. I put it on the table. I unzipped it. I took out the black folder. It was a simple, plain black folder. It made a soft, heavy thud when I placed it on the dining table. The sound was final. "What's that?" my father asked. He looked confused. "Paperwork from your job, Sophia. This isn't the time." "Sort of," I said. "It's about finances, your finances actually." I looked at my mother. I looked at my father. My voice was very calm. "Mom, Dad, do you know how much I've sent you all these years?" The room went completely silent. My mother looked confused, then angry. "What are you talking about? You send us a card for Christmas." My father frowned. "Sophia, what's the meaning of this? You're being dramatic." "It's a simple question, Dad," I said. "How much money have I sent you?" "You haven't sent any money," my mother snapped. Her voice got loud. "Adil is the one who helps us. Adil pays the bills. You moved away. You forgot about us." I looked at her. The words that used to kill me, the words that made me cry in my lonely apartment, they didn't even sting. They were just noise. "I see." I turned my head. I looked right at Adil. His smile was gone. It was just gone. His face was white. He was staring at the folder. He knew. "You tell them, Adil," I said. My voice was a whisper, but everyone heard it. "Tell them what?" he said. His voice was too high. It cracked. "You tell them where the money I sent went." His smile tried to come back, but it was a horrible twitch, a death grin. He tried to laugh, but it came out like a cough. "Sophia, you're not well. You're stressed. Sit down. You're making a fool of yourself." "Tell them," I said again. He just stared at me. "No," I said. "Okay." I put my hand on the folder. "I've been working overseas for 4 years," I said to the room. "And for 4 years I have sent money home, every single month. Money for the mortgage, money for the medicine, money for the new roof, money for the car." My mother was shaking her head. "You're lying. Why are you lying?" "To ruin your brother's birthday?" "I'm not lying," I said. I tapped the folder. $72,000, my aunt gasped. My father stood up. "Sophia, that is enough. It's all in here," I said. I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at Adil. Every bank transfer, every date, every dollar. I opened the folder, I turned it around so they could all see. $72,000 stolen. I flipped the page. Notarized bank statements? I flipped the page. Emails from Adel telling me which emergency to send money for. I flipped the page. And the account number it all went to. I pointed to the name on the statement. It's not Mom's account, it's not Dad's account. I looked right into my brother's eyes. It's yours, it's all in your name. I closed the folder. Documented, notarized, undeniable. The golden sun didn't move, he just stared. He wasn't golden anymore, he was just a man in a trap. The silence in the room was heavy. It was a thick, suffocating blanket. No one moved, no one breathed. My aunts and uncles were frozen, their faces stuck in masks of confusion and shock. Aunt Clara, who had called him a saint, now looked like she had swallowed something sour. My mother stared at the folder. I don't understand. What is this, Adel? A mix-up? My father's face was red. Sophia, this is a family matter. You put that away, you are embarrassing us. I'm embarrassing us? I asked. My voice was still quiet, but it was sharp now. Or am I embarrassing him? He's the one who stole $72,000. He's the one who lied to you for 4 years. Adel suddenly burst out laughing. It was a terrible sound. It was high-pitched and full of air. It was the sound of a balloon popping. Oh my God, he gasped, wiping a fake tear from his eye. Wow, Sophia, wow, this is really something. He stood up, shaking his head. He was trying to be the old, confident Adel. He was trying to regain control. You're actually insane, he said to me. You're jealous. You've always been jealous of me ever since we were kids. You can't stand that I'm the one who's here, taking care of them. You can't stand that they love me more. He reached for the folder. Give me that. Let me see this evidence you documented. I put my hand flat on the folder. No, he tried to grab it, but I didn't move my hand. We stared at each other. His eyes were wide and panicked. Mine were cold. Don't touch it, I said. Adel, my father said, his voice trembling. What is this? Tell her she's wrong. She's crazy, he yelled. He was breathing hard now. It's a mix-up. It's a total mix-up. I was investing it for her. Yes, that's it. I was investing it. To make more money for Mom and Dad. I was looking at stocks, at real estate for their future. She's just too stupid to understand. She's twisting everything. Investing, I asked. Is that what you call it? I opened the folder again. Dad, why don't you look? I pushed the folder toward him. He hesitated. His hands were shaking. He sat down. He put on his reading glasses. My father was a man who believed in numbers. He was an accountant before he retired. He believed in ledgers. He believed in proof. He opened it to the first page, the cover sheet. He read the numbers. $72,000. He whispered the words. Oh my God, it's a lie, Adel shouted. She's lying, she made all this up. My father turned the page. He saw the bank statement. He saw my name. He saw the transfer. He saw Adel's name. Adel, my dad said. His voice was so small, he kept turning the pages one after another. Transfer, 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 all to Adel. Then he got to the photos. He saw the picture of the BMW. He looked at the timestamp, then he looked at the bank statement next to it. This is the week I told you about the property tax, he said, looking at me. His face was pale. Yes, I said. He looked at Adel. You told me she didn't send anything. You said you handled it. I did handle it. Adel was sweating. His new blue shirt was sticking to his back. I used the money I was saving for the car. I was going to pay myself back. It was a loan. My father turned the page. The beach vacation. My mother smiling with a drink in her hand. Next to it, the bank transfer for $3,000. The email printout. Mom and Dad really need a break, sis. But the roof is leaking. It's bad. The leaky roof, my mother whispered. She picked up the photo. This was the weekend of the leaky roof. She looked at Adel. Her face was white. Adel, you told me. You said you got a bonus. It was a bonus, he screamed. It was. You're ganging up on me, all of you, after everything I do. I live here, I help you, I'm here every day. She's in another country, she doesn't care. She just wants to destroy us? He was crying now, big, fat, angry tears. It was a good performance. It would have worked on the old me, it would have worked on my parents. But the papers didn't lie. My father looked at me, his face was gray. Is it all true? Yes, I said, every dollar. Adel grabbed the folder and threw it. The papers scattered all over the floor, the notarized statements, the photos, the lies, all over the dining room. I'm not going to sit here and be attacked. He was looking at our parents, pleading, Mom, Dad, you believe me, right? I'm your son, I'm the one who's here. My mother was staring at the floor, at the picture of her on the beach. My father was staring at the wall, my Uncle Mark was looking at his shoes, Aunt Clara was whispering to her husband, "Did you hear that? $72,000. They were all pulling away from him. The hero worship was gone, replaced by a cold, quiet judgment. The silence was his answer. He looked around the room, my aunts, my uncles, they were all staring at him, not with love, not with pride, with disgust. His confidence didn't just crack, it collapsed, it shattered. The golden sun was gone, all that was left was a 30-year-old thief crying in his parents' dining room. I waited until the room was completely silent again. "Adil," I said. He looked at me, his eyes full of hate. "You're right about one thing, it's not a mix-up and it's not an investment." I paused. "It's tax fraud." That's when he stopped crying. $72,000, I said, is a lot of undeclared income. You've been receiving it for 4 years. I picked up my bag. "I've already contacted the tax office. I sent them a copy of this." I motioned to the papers on the floor. "Your account, it's been flagged." His whole body went rigid, the blood drained from his face. He wasn't a king, he wasn't a golden son. He was just a small trapped animal, and he knew it. The room was a tomb. The only sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hallway. Adil was pale, he was shaking. He looked at me, his mouth open, but no sound came out. He was terrified. My aunts and uncles started to look at the floor. They looked at their phones. They were uncomfortable. The party was over. Then my mother started to cry. It wasn't a small cry. It was a horrible, low, wailing sound. But she wasn't looking at me, she wasn't crying for me, she wasn't crying because I had been betrayed for 4 years. She was looking at Adil, she was crying for him. "My baby," she whispered, her hand reaching across the table for him. "My boy, how could this? How?" She turned her head and she glared at me. "How could you do this?" she hissed. "You did this, this is your fault, you've ruined him, you've ruined us." That was it, that was the final cut. I had just exposed a theft. I had just shown her how her son had let her and Dad struggle while he stole my money, and her first instinct, her only instinct, was to protect him and blame me. She wasn't crying for the lie. She was crying because the lie was exposed. She was crying for the golden sun. She was crying because the image was shattered. My father was different. He didn't move. He just sat at the table staring at his hands. He looked old. He looked broken. He slowly, very slowly lifted his head, and he looked at me. It was the first time in my life I felt like he was really seeing me. He wasn't seeing the disappointment. He wasn't seeing the disobedient daughter. He was seeing me. The one who worked, the one who sacrificed, the one he had dismissed. His eyes were full of a deep, terrible shame. "Sophia," he whispered. He looked down, unable to hold my gaze. That was all I needed. I stood up. I walked to the front closet and I grabbed my coat. My uncle cleared his throat. "Well, Helen, it's late, we should be going." My Aunt Clara was already pushing her chair back, not making eye contact with anyone. "Yes, yes. Thank you for the dinner." One by one, they all started to leave. They filed out, a quiet, awkward parade of shame. They didn't pat Adil on the back, they didn't hug my mother, they didn't even look at me, they just wanted to escape. The smell of theft and family breakdown was in the air and they wanted no part of it. Soon, it was just the 4 of us. Me by the door zipping up my coat, my mother sobbing over the table holding Adil's hand. My father frozen in his shame staring at the scattered papers on the floor. And Adil, pale and shaking, staring into the middle of the room. "I'm changing my bank information," I said. My voice was loud in the quiet room. "From now on," I said, "I will not be sending money to Adil." My mother's sobbing hitched. "You will receive money directly. I will set up an automatic payment to your account. It will cover the mortgage and your medicines, nothing else." "No middleman," my father nodded, still looking at his hands. "Yes, Sophia, of course, thank you. Don't you talk to her," my mother screamed. "She's the one who did this. She's the snake." I ignored her. I put my hand on the doorknob. I stopped. I looked back. Adil was still in his chair. He looked small. He was just a boy who had been caught. He was nothing. All the fear I had of him, all the respect, it was gone. He was just a weak, greedy man. I turned. I looked right at him. He flinched like he thought I was going to hit him. "You and Mom," I said. My voice was soft. "You always said I'd never be as good as you." His eyes met mine. They were red. They were full of fear and hate. "You were right," I said. "I'm better." I turned the knob, I opened the door, I walked out into the cold night air. I didn't slam the door, I didn't yell, I just closed it behind me. The click of the lock was the most powerful sound I had ever heard. I walked to my car. I got in. I did not cry, I did not smile, I just put the car in drive and I left, and I did not look back. It's been 6 months. My apartment has never felt so quiet, but it's not a lonely quiet anymore. It's a peaceful quiet. For the first time in 4 years, I sleep through the night. I don't wake up at 3 a.m. with a knot in my stomach, wondering why my mother's voice sounded so cold. I don't check my bank account with a sense of dread. I bought myself a new plant. It's a big, leafy fiddle leaf fig. It's thriving. I bought new sheets, not the cheap ones. I booked a vacation, a real one, to Italy just for me. I'm not sending a single dollar of that money to anyone. I did exactly what I said I would do. The day after the dinner, I went to my bank. I canceled the old transfer. I set up a new one, a small, fixed amount. It goes directly to my father's bank account on the 1st of every month. It covers the mortgage. It covers their medical bills. It does not cover new cars. It does not cover beach vacations. It does not cover a golden son's lifestyle. I am still the provider, but I am the provider on my terms. My mother called me a week after the dinner. Her voice was strange. It was small. It was nervous. Sophia, hi mom, I just wanted to call the money for the mortgage. It arrived? I know mom, I set it up to be automatic. There was a long pause. Oh, she said, good, that's good. She was waiting for me to ask about him. She was waiting for me to yell. I said nothing. Your father, she said, he says thank you, you're welcome. It was the first time in my life either of them had treated me with genuine respect. It wasn't love, it wasn't warmth. It was the respect you give to someone who has all the power, the respect you give to someone you are a little bit afraid of. I found that I was okay with that. She called again about a month later. The nervousness was gone. It was replaced by her old, sharp tone. Sophia, you have to stop this. Stop what, mom? This tax thing, you have to call them. You have to tell them it was a mistake. It was a family misunderstanding. You can tell them you asked him to hold the money, that it was a gift. She wanted me to lie after everything. She wanted me to lie for him, to put myself at risk. No, mom, I said. What do you mean no? She shrieked. He's your brother. He's going to go to jail, Sophia. They are talking about jail. He did that to himself, mom, I said. My voice wasn't angry. It wasn't sad. It was just a fact. But he's your brother, she cried. And I am your daughter, I said. And for 4 years you let him steal from me and you called me a stranger. For 4 years you let him feed you lies while I paid for the food on your table. He made his choice. I'm making mine. You are cold, she whispered. You are a cold, heartless girl. No, mom, I said. I'm just done. I have to go. I hung up. She still calls about once a month. She tells me all the news. I think it's her last-ditch effort to make me feel guilty. Adel, she started on the last call. Her voice cracked. Adel, it's not good, Sophia. I just listened. I was watering my plant. The tax office, they're auditing him. They're auditing us. They're looking at everything. For the last 4 years we have to pay penalties. Your father is so stressed. I said nothing. He lost his job, she whispered. They're taking the car. The bank is taking the car. I know, I said. How do you know? She snapped. I saw the repo notice online. She was silent. The neighbors are talking, his friends, they won't talk to him. He just sits in his room. He won't come out. He's lost everything. She was waiting for me to say something, to say, I'm sorry, to say, I'll fix it, to say, I'll stop it. I took a breath. He hasn't lost everything, mom. He still has you. I hung up. I don't revel in his downfall. I don't check his social media. I don't ask my parents about him. I don't feel joy. I don't feel anger. I feel light. I feel clarity. The drama is over. The noise in my head is gone. I am not the obedient daughter. I am not the invisible provider. I am not the angry victim. I am just me. And for the first time, I think that's enough. If you've ever carried a family silently while someone else took the credit, tell me where you're watching from. Would you forgive Adel or walk away forever? Hit like and subscribe for more true revenge stories.